What is up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. Today we are here at Highland Brewery and we are looking at some Formwork today. We have the Hex back out and we also have the Servo. Now these are two different speed categories. This is a fairway driver and this is a mid-range. But what we're working on should theoretically work for both of these. However, as we try to down tempo, there is that lower threshold where it's not necessarily a speed and arm speed thing necessarily. The lower threshold is still there, but you have to hit a certain spin rate to get it to do what you want. So we're gonna throw a couple holes out here and see if we can achieve what we're looking for. When I was playing with the Hex at Lake Julian 2 weeks ago, I realized that most of the holes there are actually Hex distance shots. So it's really hard to down tempo on a shot when it's actually the shot distance you're normally used to throwing. So we're coming to Highland. It's a shorter course. We got a mid-range and a fairway driver. Let's see if we can be accurate when we down tempo on faster discs. The first hole we're gonna play is hole number 1, 216 feet. The basket's right there at the bottom of the hill. This wind might make it interesting, but I'm going to try to make both the Hex a far-flying mid-range and the Servo a far-flying fairway driver. Make it 216 feet at the bottom of the hill? I don't even know if that's possible, but we're gonna try. I think what we're working on is working. Now, the problem that we're going to run into is the difference between a mid-range and a fairway driver. At least the way I throw mid-ranges and the way I throw fairway drivers is it actually changes my grip. And I throw fairway drivers nose down, I throw mid-ranges nose up. So can I down tempo and still get a nose down shot? I'm not sure. I mean, it wasn't super nose down, but I also don't think I gave it the spin rate that it needed. That being a faster rim, and that's the fairway driver rim being a little bit slicier. So when it does slow down, it's going to fade and it's going to slow down a lot faster. So I probably should have thrown it on some anhyzer. Is the servo a flex disc when you throw it as soft as possible? Probably. So, I mean, this is where the forehand videos are all talking about the thresholds and trying to find those. But also, backhand, you still have thresholds, and we're exploring those right now. And they're going to be different based off of which disc you throw. And you're going to have to learn your discs. But for now, let's keep warming this wrist up. And let's go spin some discs. I've jumped over to the shore pad for hole number 3. This hole's 190 feet. So it's one of those, like, everybody should be able to, like, if you've been playing for a little while, you're starting to reach that 150, 200 foot mark. This is going to be one of your first holes that's going to be easy to reach. Are we going Hex or are we going Servo? I mean, we are throwing both, but I think I'm going to have to meter them differently So we're going to focus on the hex for a second. The hex I'm going to try to throw flat and soft, but as I'm coming through, I need to make sure that I'm following through on the exact same plane. So if I'm following through and either under or coming over or under it with my wrist, it's going to make some wobble and it's going to make it do things we don't want it to do. So it's very precise staying on that plane while getting the right spin rate. Downtempoing is one of the harder skills to learn, I think. I did one of these right at the very end of the throw, and this tiny little motion put me out the right of the fairway. I should have been straight down the middle of the fairway, a little bit of finish, but my wrist gets in the way. All right, this one's gonna be a little bit harder to get to the right spot, but it's possible, I think. That was the right shot. It gave me just a tiny bit of flip up, which tells me I did actually get a decent amount of spin on it for as soft as I threw it. It stood up ever so slightly. I didn't roll my wrist. I threw it on a hyzer, and it stood up into that tree. Whereas the hex, I rolled my wrist slightly, and that slight understability that should have helped it to flip up to flat and straight ended up holding it over down the sneaky right side gap, which ended up as a better shot, as a better result than the servo. But the servo was the shot we were looking for. It just got unlucky. So I think for the servo, it's a little bit more important that you fully commit a little bit more to the extended reach back. Even if you're down tempoing and you're going to just barely soft it, throw it, you still need to have a little bit more of that intentional reach back so that you can get a little bit more of the spin rate, and so you're not feeling weird when you try to go throw the disc because you're doing something different than your normal throw. With the hex, I'm still reaching back. I'm still doing a normal throw, but I realized that with the hex instead of the servo, I'm not really extending. It's much more of a right here in front of me type of throw. Since I'm not trying to get a lot of power, I don't need the huge levers active when we're using the mid-range, but to get the spin rate up on the servo to make it fly the way we want, I do have to give it just a tiny bit more, so it'll be a little bit more accentuated with the reach back. All right, 218 feet. It's about the distance markers that we're looking for today, so. It was a grip block, but it was the right shot. That was the shot we were trying to go for. I just pulled it a little. Now for the servo, I want to keep this on the hyzer, so it's similar to the last shot. If we end up pushing straighter a little bit, that's fine, but I don't want it to go all the way up to flat. I don't want it to go over. I want it to just kind of push on that hyzer. Again, better result from the hex, even though it was a worse release. I love how that disc golf is sometimes, where you're just like, the first shot was bad, but it turned out better than the better. Anyways, let's go throw a couple more. Wow, the sun is really hot right here. Let's go back in the shade. It's very warm out here today and very humid. But as you move up in rim speed, so speed necessary or spin required to get the desired shot. Be more intentional in that reach back. And I barely threw the servo, but because of the axe, like, I made sure to do kind of a full reach back. I got it to flip up a little bit. Now, I did throw it on too much hyzer and too nose up. That is, still need to work on the release angles, like the nose down when you're softing it. That's another really hard one to do, is softing drivers, because they tend to be so much more nose up. It's not really what you want. All right, I'm gonna stop talking. I'm gonna start throwing. This is the short pad for hole number 7, and the basket's in the short placement, so it's 217 feet on the other hillside. We're gonna throw a servo first this time, actually, and I'm going to make sure we commit to that full reach back, and I wanna make sure that even though I'm throwing it soft, I wanna lock my shoulder in so that it comes through here, and then I can follow through. I am kind of coming out of the shot, which is one of the reasons why we're seeing the hex turn over a little bit more, is because I'm kind of coming out of the shot on the hex and being more precise with the servo. So let's be precise with both. That's, yeah, just a little at the end of the throw, of the end of the release, just a little bit of that. Just kicking that wrist out, give it a little bit of extra spin on the line or on the release angle I was trying to throw it on, and we saw a good flip up out of it. It's a brand new servo. I threw it soft. It's going to fade, but I saw a flip up, and that's what we were going for. Let's commit to the hyzer release with the hex and see if we get the same flip up. Okay. Because it's a hex, I'm able to throw it softer. Throw a little soft. It's still 217, and you still have to kind of throw it. It's still a mid-range. So, hex, I saw a hair flip up. That's a pretty stable hex, and it doesn't really flip up very much, even when I throw it hard. So, that's, I was just hoping at that point. But, I'm loving how the servo is flipping up. I think that if I were to do the same thing with, I don't think the Grackle, maybe the Eagle L, the Vela, you know, any of the flippy fairway drivers, you can probably soft them and get mid-range distance, but the power of a putter, if you're smooth and controlled with it. Which is why we're over here in the woods. It's gonna be our last hole. They're not blooming at Julian yet, but the rhododendrons are starting to bloom here. I'll probably include it in the video later when it gets like good and big. Anyways, this is a hole I have struggled with for a long, actually quite a number of years at this point. I normally just throw a flex disc. Throw overstable putt and approach or overstable mid-range, a little bit of anhyzer, commit to that soft pop, and watch it flex out down the hill, back over to the basket. I want it to be a hyzer flip shot, but I have so much trouble actually committing to just throwing it soft, but still committing to popping the spin on it. It's very difficult for me, so we're gonna try it. We have two shots, and hopefully we can get one of them close to the basket. This hole is only 246 feet, but it is downhill, tiny bit of a tailwind. Let's see what we can get. We're gonna go hex first. And that's the problem. That happens almost every time. I always stand up out of it. So maybe I need to be going servo so I can commit a little bit better to that release. Theoretically it worked better, but maybe I'll just keep flexing a disc at it until I get better at this. Or maybe I need I don't know. I'm gonna keep working on this. The best tip, if you want to have one thing to take away from this video, the best thing that is helping so far is commit. I know it's a soft shot. Don't stand up out of it. Don't just let the shot happen. You are committing to a softer shot. Fully commit to the softer shot. Don't stand up out of it. Do the exact same cues as you would for your normal throw, but softer. Hopefully some of this resonates and some of this is helpful. If so, please make sure to like the video. If you want to see new stuff though, make sure to comment all of that down below. Please make sure to subscribe. It helps you guys out with these subscriber-only giveaways. And if you want to be automatically entered into monthly giveaways, check out the memberships. Until next time, see you out on the course.